Hey everyone, it's Friday, May 8th, 2020. Welcome to episode 11 of the Ginger and the Beard podcast. What's up, guys? I'm AJ, aka The Ginger.
And I'm Reese, aka The Beard.
And if you're just now tuning in to the stream or you're listening to the recorded version of the show, we just got done streaming For the King for the second week in a row and got a little further along in the game. If you want to see how that went, make sure you check out the recording on Twitch and on YouTube. And then check back next week as we go live with another game.
Nice, dude. I can't wait. Yes, sir. We had a lot of fun playing that game again this week. I certainly did. I know you did. But now it's time we move into the podcast portion of the show, and there's some exciting stuff this week, right? But before we dive in, Mr. Ginger, how was your week?
It was good. Actually, my week went by really fast. I feel like these weeks sometimes just fly by. Like, work is very stressful during the week, but then we finally get to our Fridays, and I'm always excited to hop on and talk with you, man. How about yours?
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. You know, it just flies by, especially with staying inside most of the time, and you know, it just goes by so fast. This week went by really fast for me. I don't know if you saw, but I built my own desk, right? I don't know if you saw the pictures of it. Did you saw the pictures, right?
I did see the pictures. I didn't know you were such a craftsman.
I didn't know either. This is my first time really doing some serious woodworking, so I got it all set up last night. So I'm using it right now.
Oh, all right. So it's in action.
It is in action. Very happy about it too. But yeah, that was the highlight of my week.
Are you proud of yourself? Do you get like a sense of enjoyment every time you sit at your desk? You're like, I built this with my bare hands.
I do. It feels really nice.
Like, I harvested this material.
This is my desk, only mine. Yeah. Nobody else in the world has this desk.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, no, seriously, all of those. I cried last night. I think I had like a little. I think I had a. What is it? A splinter? I had a splinter. That was a little bit of blood, you know. So we can, yeah. Anyway, I got to put the LEDs on it, and then it'll be all said and done. But I'm ready to drink a little bit of alcohol and have some discussions, brother.
I feel you there, man. I feel you there. So speaking of which, why don't you tell us, Mr. Beard, what are you drinking tonight, sir?
What am I drinking tonight? I have unboxed it already, but I've got it in the box right now. So this is called Hibiki Suntory whiskey. It's a Japanese. It's called Hibiki Japanese Harmony. It's a Japanese whiskey made by the House of Suntory. The House of Suntory is a family, more or less, you know, that owns a bunch of different distilleries and makes some of the finest whiskeys out of Japan. So here's the bottle. Can kind of see it right there. So it's when they bottle it, it's 43% ABV. Thanks, dude. This was a housewarming gift actually. So very happy, you know, that I was able to, you know, enjoy this, and you know, I'm going to be enjoying it tonight. So you know, basically you could describe the taste as having like a honey-like sweetness. Now it's whiskey, of course, so it's gonna taste a little bit like whiskey. But for whiskeys, AJ, I think if you drank this, man, you would have no trouble. It's
really?
It's sweet, candied orange peel, a little bit of is on the taste of it, and it's basically a blend of multiple grain whiskeys and multiple malt whiskeys. Just finely picked, finely crafted, and blended. And I gotta say, man, I'm impressed. So I'll go ahead and hit you with this pour real quick. It's gonna be a little bit different. I guess my glass could be cleaner.
That glass is so. Oh my gosh! Look at that ball of ice. You're such a professional.
You didn't see that?
No, now I see that ball of glass. Where's this glass? There's this ice maker that you have that spits out balls of ice.
It's like a little mold, right? So you pour water into it, and then you just put it in your freezer, and it's just like an ice cube. And
That's so awesome.
you just like open the mold up, and it does 4 of them at a time. So
You're
yeah,
so
man.
official.
Yeah, my wife got me that as a gift. So
It's a solid gift.
cheers to wives for being amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Last
I
week,
love it.
my wife, you saw, came in clutch with the Tiger King IPA. So,
Exactly. So,
yes.
let me give this a quick sip, right?
Mm-hmm. Go for it. Does it burn? Is it burning
Doesn't
its way
burn.
down?
Doesn't burn.
Really? See, I need to like, maybe next time you're in town or I'm in town or whatever, we should do like a whiskey
Oh, that's
bourbon
good.
sort of tasting or something. And maybe you can show me the ways because I just can't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too. I guess with beer, you always have that acquired taste. You have to kind of get through. You got to get through the torture a little bit before you start to enjoy it. So I need to get there.
Yeah, we could work on it. I mean, it takes a little bit of time, right? But you know, uh, you should definitely like the bottom shelf whiskeys, right? That's probably why you're having so much trouble, is because they're like really harsh. So if you
Yeah.
get one of these like top shelf ones, you'll realize like, oh, okay, well, I could actually withstand that enough to start getting the taste for it. So
Right. So where does like wild turkey fall on the list of like
oh,
high
that's
quality?
in my opinion, Wild Turkey is like bottom to mid shelf, right? I think that
Okay.
depending, it also like if you sum it up just to like the name of the company or like the name of the brand,
Yeah.
it might not be enough because if you could get like the honey barrel, right? And the honey barrel is
Mm.
going to be like top notch, and there's so many different variations of what that Wild Turkey could be. So it depends on the bottle that you get, but like typically it's going to be like low to medium. But they have, honey barrels and whatnot, which might be like top shelf. So, yeah,
Nice.
dude. So anyway, what are you drinking?
Guess what? I have something that's not from Farmhouse.
Oh man, I was gonna say, is it Farmhouse?
No, it's not. I love those guys, but I decided for this week I should switch it up a little bit, and I'm supporting a different local brewery, which is actually Smart Mouth, who's headquartered in Norfolk, Virginia. But they also have like a pilot house out in Virginia Beach oceanfront, which is closer to my house. So this week I've got a Pedal Pusher IPA. So I thought it was kind
These
of cool. It's
cans,
got
man.
right. These cans, the artwork of a beer is almost as important as the quality of the beer itself anymore. Like we've talked about this before. Like what attracts you
Yep.
to purchase a beer when you're in the store? Well, naturally humans are attracted to good design, so we look for labels that look cool, right? And that's what kind of catches your attention. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I went on their website and did some online ordering action and picked it up and wore my mask, so I was super safe. But yeah, it's the
Nice.
Pedal Pusher IPA. It's 6.5%, so it's not super heavy, and zero IBUs, which is extremely rare for an IPA as well. So the IBU is obviously the measure of bitterness. So it's a very low bitter, very light IPA. I haven't tasted this yet, so we're gonna do a live tasting here. But interestingly enough, they actually describe it as a soft IPA on their website. So I'm interested to see what that looks like. All right, and here's the next level. New beer glass.
Oh, hit him with it! Wow.
That's
Look at
smart.
that.
Oh, upside down. Smart mouth beer glass as well, and it's shaped like a can,
Yeah.
which is pretty dope. And it's also 16 ounces, so it fits a whole one of these bad boys in there without having to do 2 pours. So
Dude.
let's go
So
ahead and
cool. I want one.
make some magic here.
It's
We're
nice
just
and
gonna
clean. Nice and clean.
We're gonna fill her up too. We're just gonna fill her up. Hopefully I don't foam over. Up. Nope, not quite.
almost.
Not quite.
Almost.
Oh, look at that.
That's so.
can't-
It looks like such a good pour, though.
Yes. All right. I have to
And
let
the
that
shape
settle
of the
down for a
glass.
second.
The shape of the
I
glass
poured-
looks like it almost keeps it in, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I poured a stout in this last night, which obviously doesn't have the same sort of a head as an IPA, and it fit perfectly. It fits so perfectly.
Nice.
But we're gonna go ahead and give this a taste.
Oh, it looks so good.
That is really good. It's brewed with a couple different types of hops. I didn't write them all down, but there's definitely citra hops in there, which is what gives it its citrusy flavor. And zero IBUs definitely would be accurate. It's not super bitter at all. Actually, it's very, very refreshing. It's almost like more along the lines of like a Hefeweizen, I feel like. But
Okay.
yeah, it's very tasty. So shout out Smartmouth. Thank you guys for hooking me up with something
You gotta
different
take
for the
us there.
week.
You gotta
Yeah,
take
man.
us down there.
Yeah, like actually that was the first time I had been to their pilot house location in Virginia Beach, and obviously you couldn't go in. They had like this giant bay garage door opened up on the side of the building, and you could see inside of there and have a bunch of picnic tables and things inside. It looks really like a cool spot, so we should definitely check it out once the apocalypse is over.
Yeah, dude, I'm totally in. That sounds great.
So, cheers to you, Reese. Let's do a virtual cheers here.
Here we go. Cheers.
Bam,
Boom.
bam.
Tink.
Smart mouth. That's for the
Vicky.
Instagram. All right, man. So, I think didn't you say you had some news for some beer releases?
You know, I did, but I didn't really get them, jotted down. One was that Founders was going to be releasing one of their IPAs in a can that hadn't been traditionally released in a can. And then same with Deschutes. Deschutes is another brewery that is more well known, and they had some like Pride beer that they were releasing. I did want to talk a little bit about those. So let me go ahead and find those two real quick. And we can kind of just dive in. So adding all day is an IPA by Founders, 16-ounce cans, right? So before there was, I guess, 12 and 19.2 ounce cans.
Okay.
And they weren't doing 16-ounce cans. So, really it's just another way. This is, one of Founders' kind of streamlined IPAs. Typical, it's 4.7 ABV, so it's easy drinking, 42 IBUs, pretty easy drinking there.
Yep.
But yeah, so now, next time you're out and about after the apocalypse ends, you'll be able to see some smaller 16-ounce cans that you can enjoy. That's something up your alley,
delicious.
right?
Oh yeah, dude. This is a 16-ounce can. I love the 16-ounce cans. The 4-pack.
Right.
I'm not sure what the better value actually is. I think if you get a 6-pack, like I said, it all depends on the cost of the beer, but sometimes it's a better value to get a 6-pack. But I like the 16-ounce.
Yeah. So there you go. And then the other one was Deschutes. They're celebrating diversity and inclusion through a specialty Pride beer. So I don't know. I'm not really too involved with these with the Pride community or whatnot, but it's nice to see, breweries that are taking that into consideration. Larger breweries that are being open and accepting and whatnot. So
Sure.
Good on them. For doing something like that. So it's $1 per 6-pack is donated to the Sexual and Gender Minority Youth Resource Center in Portland, Oregon. Which is that's a nice little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this isn't really giving me too much information on what the beer is. It's I guess it's kind of along the lines of a sour. Here it is.
It's up your
Bubbles
alley.
and Brunch Berlini. Sorry. I missed it. Bubbles and Brunch
Brunch.
Berlini. Yeah, so 15% ABV, 25
Oh,
IBUs.
jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Did I say 15%? Shit. It's 5%.
Okay.
5%.
15%.
My bad. It's in 12-ounce cans, 6-packs. And it's not really saying, okay, sorry, here it is. It's a champagne cocktail type beer. Wow, what? It's a lager.
That's interesting.
It's a lager that's fashioned towards a Bellini. Clean and crisp, very easy drinking with champagne-like effervescence in a dry finish. Delicate peach flavors, slight tartness, addition of white
Sounds
grapes and
kinda
vanilla
refreshing.
notes. Dude, I could totally drink that. That sounds right up my alley. So,
Yeah. You're all
okay.
about the fruitiness. The sours.
I do. I like sours. I like all kinds of different things.
Yep.
But I do like sours. So
Oh yeah.
all right.
Actually, Before we move on, I actually would like to see. I mean, I know this is kind of a hard time because breweries themselves, like especially these local brewers, are struggling also to kind of stay open during this situation. But it would be cool just to see more breweries start to do something like that, where different charities or things that they donate to, they release special beers. Not to say that they aren't doing this already, but to see more of that. Like, hey, order the 6-pack, we donate $1 to whatever the charity may be. But that's kind of cool that they're doing that. So
yeah, man,
good on you.
Totally cool. Good for Deschutes. Mad respect there. So, hey,
Oh yeah.
are you ready to transition over into tech news, or are we waiting?
Let's do some tech news. I'm ready.
All right, guys. 3, 2, 1, transition time. Oh my God, that was perfect timing. Perfect.
Was it?
Timing.
All right. Yes. Yes.
Good job.
Actually, some BTS. I can't tell when we're going and when we're stopping, and I just depend on the beer to say, all right, we're back. And I just perfectly timed this magical hand wipe.
It was unbelievably perfect timing.
We should start doing one of those things that like YouTubers do. It's like between clips, they just like grab the camera so it like goes dark. It's just like, all right, guys, we'll see you in a second.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when they release, it's like they're in a different city. It's like we're in Chicago, and then, hey, what's up, guys? I'm in New York.
We're in Mexico.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do that on our next transition. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that. All right.
So you got a new
technology
keyboard.
news. I got a new keyboard, and I forgot to talk about it last week, and I was so ashamed of myself. I've told you about this keyboard, and I've showed it to you, but I was like, I need to show this to the people. The people need to know about the Keychron. The Keychron K4. So Keychron. Oh, actually, I could do a side-by-side comparison. I'm not going to unplug it because I actually have it set up to do cabled right now, but I can still show it on the camera.
I'm gonna zoom you in. Oh yeah, there it is.
Shoom, shoom. Check this bad
Looks
boy
so
out.
nice.
So it's I can't pull the cord far enough. I will say my one complaint about this thing so far is that the cable they gave you is not nearly long enough. But anyway, so yeah, this is a K4. This is a Keychron K4. We'll put a link to it in the YouTube description. I feel like I'm doing a terrible job showing this thing off because it's like upside down, but it's plugged in. So
no, we could see it.
Yeah, it's a mechanical keyboard. It's Bluetooth. It's Bluetooth capable. It's also come on, cable. Yeah, so here you can see these switches on the side here. You can switch between Bluetooth and wired connections. You can see I've got it plugged in now. It's got a USB-C plug on it. You can also switch between Windows operating system, Android, Mac, iOS. It basically is compatible with everything. I think you could even do like Linux and things like that with it. But it's full mechanical keyboard. It's customizable keycaps, so you can pull these bad boys off, replace them with new keycaps. And it's got a Gateron brown switch inside the keys. So for you guys that don't know really a lot about mechanical keyboards, when you buy a mechanical keyboard, and the whole benefit there is that you get more of a tactile click when you're pressing your keys. There's more of a sound associated with it. You can ask my wife; she's kind of annoyed by it. It's a lot more clicky and tactile, so you can it makes you essentially more accurate with your typing. And they're very popular in the gaming industry, obviously, with streamers and things like that. But when you go to shop for a mechanical keyboard, you have oftentimes choice between what types of switch you get with your keyboard. So if you're building something custom, you can pick between like a Cherry switch. Cherry is a very popular manufacturer of keyboard switches. And then these Gateron switches, which are also becoming quite popular as well. The color that's associated with the switch. So, for instance, I said I have a Gateron brown. Is usually tied to like a noise indication and also a resistance. So, the brown switch that I ordered this with is very tactile. It's a lot of resistance to it. Not a lot. It's not super heavy, but it has less of a clack to it and more of just like a thud. So, I'm just gonna be typing randomly in a document, but it's kind of hard to hear here. You've got a nice little thud to your keys.
Nice.
Very satisfying, if you ask me.
Does it take a lot of pressure?
I mean, that's kind of hard to demonstrate on the video, obviously, but it is definitely, if you're comparing this to like a laptop keyboard or a standard like Dell keyboard that you get at an office space, it is more resistant. It is a little bit harder to push down the button. but there is like an actuation point that you can feel while you're hitting the button, so you know exactly when the key has been pressed. There's no wobble to the keys like you would find on something like a MacBook Pro keyboard. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of show that off briefly. You know, maybe I don't think this channel is gonna ever dive into full-blown tech reviews, but it might do a cool little segment on this keyboard eventually, just to kind of give some impressions on it, do some sound tests and things like that. But checking my drawers here. My desk drawers, not my pants drawers. I just wanted to clarify on that one.
Good job clarifying.
But I'm coming from this. This is also a Keychron. This is the K1. This is the first keyboard that they released. It's actually a very new manufacturer. But you can see here, this has also got the RGB. You've got different light cycles you can switch between by pushing the little light button. So you can do cool little things like that. But it's a lot more clacky.
Nice.
Than the other one. So it's a cool little upgrade to my setup.
Yeah, dude.
Right, I know you were looking at mechanical keyboards, Reese. What have you found anything that you interested in?
No, not yet, really. There was a Razer one that I thought was nice, but I want the clicky. So, you know that I bought this this keypad, this Razer keypad.
Oh yeah.
And it's got mechanical buttons on it, and it's got like an analog stick. It's got a lot of cool things going on for it. I can't. Actually, I can show it. This right here, the Tartarus Pro, the most recent one that they've released.
I love this thing.
RGB, and it's got a space button for your thumb. It's got a quick switching button. It's got an analog. I could put a little analog insert there, or just have the directional. You know,
D-pad,
but this one is tactile and not clicky, but there's too much resistance, right? So I've found that my fingers actually get fatigued.
Really?
Yeah. So I would love to find a way that I could just ease up on the resistance a little bit here. And but yeah, just when I go to get a keyboard, it's going to be probably clicky and less tactile. Mm-hmm. Now that I kind of understand, how it works a little bit more. But yeah, I haven't found one just yet. But I like the review that you're giving on the one that you have right now. So it's very possible that we might have the same keyboard in the future. We'll see. I got to do some research.
Yeah, they have a few different models, man. I definitely would suggest checking them out. But if you want something a little less resistance, I would suggest the blue switches, even with Cherry or Gateron. But the blue switch is a lot lighter, so lighter meaning less resistance, and also more clacky. Mine's, you could hear, it's kind of like a thud sound to it. It's like more of a thud, but the blue is a little bit more clicky and a lot lighter. So if you're a really fast typer, that might be something more your speed. But yeah, I mean, obviously you can try this thing out whenever you guys come in. Or the next time we come in, I can even bring it with me to let you play around with. But they've got a couple different models, some more compact. This was the 100 key 96% model, so it's almost a full-size keyboard. And they've got some that are 10 keyless, so they don't have the number pad on the right-hand side. And they just released one called the K6, which is a lot more compact. It's missing, I don't think it has the function row on the top of the keyboard. So if that's something you don't really find yourself needing very often, and can do without, then you can get rid of the function row at the top, and it's like really compact.
So one thing I am looking for is a more compact keyboard. Right now I'm using the Death Adder, the Razer. I think it's the Death Stalker.
Yeah, because Death Adder's the mouse.
The mouse, and so this is a very large, keyboard, and it takes up too much space on my desk, and I use a very low DPI setting on my mouse, so I have to have more movement. And so that's the one feature that I think is probably the most important, is a more compact keyboard. Lengthwise, the width of it is fine. So, yeah. And then I think I'll keep that in mind. Blue keys. I should try the blue keys. I want to try the brown ones that you have as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I definitely let it try it out. But speaking of keyboards, another news story. Apple has actually released new 13-inch MacBook Pros. So, Reese, I'm not sure if you've ever even used a MacBook Pro. I know you're a Windows guy. You're through and through.
Yeah.
But I actually own a 2017 13-inch MacBook Pro, and what's interesting about their new MacBook Pros is they've introduced a brand new keyboard. So people complained
Okay.
oftentimes. I'm not gonna. I have my MacBook here, but I'm not gonna pick it up and show it and everything. But the keyboard has been the primary complaint amongst users for the longest time. It's unreliable. The keyboard basically shuts down if it gets like any sort of dust underneath the keycaps, which is really terrible. And it's very low travel, so it's just kind of like, speaking of accurate typing, it's not the laptop for you.
I'm gonna go ahead and share it as you're speaking.
Oh yeah, good point. But yeah, so they released their new MacBook Pros. There's a couple of things that are the primary differentiators with this. Number one being that it's got the new 10th gen Intel processors. So if you can mod this thing up pretty high, like you can spec this thing out, and I think if you spec it out all the way, it's $3,600. So it's definitely not a cheap machine.
Wow.
You could build a pretty bad gaming machine, a gaming PC for that amount of money. But their Intel 10th gen processor can clock up to 4.5 gigahertz, so it is pretty fast.
Jeez.
It's got up to 32 gigabytes of RAM. So if you're somebody that does video editing, photo editing, this is definitely
That's
something
insane.
you might want to. 32 gigs of RAM is a lot for a laptop.
Yeah.
4 terabytes of storage you can put in this thing as well. Again,
Now, do you
ridiculous.
Now, do you know if that's SSD or HD? Is it a hard drive or an SSD?
It's definitely
I would-
SSD, just based on the size of the device.
Oh my God, that's insane.
Yeah, and I think on that page you're on it, if you go down a little further, it does talk about the read and write speeds.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can spec this thing out to be pretty beast, but as far as form factor is concerned, I think it's changed in thickness by a couple of millimeters. It may be a little bit thicker than the last gen, but nothing crazy. And so the reason that it's thicker is because they've introduced a new keyboard finally to satisfy the people who buy the computers for the last
Nice.
4 years at this point, who have been buying this MacBook and have been complaining about the keyboard. So what they've done is they've increased the travel, not quite as far as it used to be on the old MacBooks, but they've increased the travel of the keys. They've increased the stability of the keys so they don't wobble as much, and they've reduced the noise. So they've added some more dampening inside of the keycap, so it's not quite as clacky. I can tell you, my office for my full-time job, I'd say probably 50% of people that work there use the last gen models of the MacBook Pro. And so if you're in a meeting, you can almost not even like send an email while you're in a meeting, which maybe you should be paying attention to the meeting anyways. But if you start typing on that thing in a meeting, people start looking at you like, dude, will you keep it down with that keyboard, please?
Whoops.
So yeah, check out those new MacBooks. If you've got $3,600 to spend, you can get a monster. But I will tell you, just in my experience with my MacBook Pro, the 2017 model, which only has like a 3.5 gigahertz processor, it's an i5 Intel, probably 8th gen. It chugs if I try to edit or export any video. When I'm doing these clips, if I'm running Adobe Premiere on my laptop to cut some clips for our show, it sucks the battery life out like nobody's business, and the computer just drags. But then on my gaming PC, it just burns through stuff. So just keep that in mind.
All right. I mean, yeah, it's not really my style, but hey, man, I can't believe that they fit that much power into a 13-inch MacBook. That's
Yeah.
bravo.
Yeah, definitely.
So, a little bit more news before we hit our next section. All you social media users out there, which is basically everybody in the entire world at this point, Facebook. Hey boomers.
That's us.
That was great. I know.
We're
I'm
not
boomer.
boomers, but we do use social media, and we are old.
We're older, I guess. Not really, but like, I've had 23-year-olds call me a boomer before, so Come on. Anyway, so Facebook has redesigned their desktop site with a dark mode. First off, not just a dark mode, but like it looks completely different now. Like they've realigned everything. It looks so clean and smooth. I know before, I had a trouble going on Facebook because it was just so scattered and clunky, and everything was all just like smushed together. Like it just didn't look good on the eyes, and it didn't have a dark mode either. So I tried not to use Facebook that much. But as of today, today's the 8th of May, 2020. It's now redesigned, and it has a dark mode. So it's faster, easier to use, and gives your eyes a break with the dark mode. And to give you a little tip to do it, it's very easy. So in the top right, when you log into Facebook on Google or basically from a PC, from a desktop, go to the top right. There's the little arrow pointing down. It's a little arrow. Click that down arrow, and you'll see in the options in that little pane there's a little switch to new Facebook option. Click that option. You'll get a couple prompts. It'll kind of show you some new things, and then before you get to the end of it, it'll ask if you want to go to light mode or dark mode. So choose whichever you prefer. And if you stay in light mode but later on want to switch to dark mode, you can click that same down arrow and toggle dark mode on or off in that same little settings drop-down option. So, a couple more things. So Facebook's core utility seems to have been or is and currently still is organizing large events and certainly reaching out to people that you know in real life, but maybe you don't have their contact information, or people that you're trying to, reach out to that you haven't talked to in a while, things like that. So they've kind of specialized in that area more or less. So, they're trying to hone in on that and improve on it some more, while also adding a couple new focuses, such as increasing, basically the cosmetics, or how nice videos look on Facebook's newsfeed, basically, so that they're more appealing to your eyes. They stand out a little bit more. It's a little bit easier to know what you're looking at. So they want to get those videos working a lot better. And then again, ease of access, or easy access to events and groups. I always felt like that was a little bit confusing for me. So if you're not like a Facebook user, the barriers to entry for that kind of stuff was just like not appealing. I even tried creating a page on there for my stream, and it was just a challenge. And I think, I think AJ, you created one for the podcast. So, I mean, I just feel like that part's clunky, and they needed to fix it. So I haven't dove in yet to see what that all looks like just yet. I'm excited to hear that they've made some changes. And then they've also redesigned the messenger pane. The messenger pane was like 10 years ago, right? So now it looks more standard to what you kind of see with a lot of the different messenger panes in, Twitter, Instagram, other social media platforms. So overall, very good. Took them long enough. I mean, they're kind of behind the curve on that, though. But yeah.
Yeah, the running joke has always been every time I log into Facebook, it looks different. Like there's always something changing. But interestingly enough, I don't have this option, and I don't understand why. I've checked both of my computers. It's not on my Mac or my PC. And I wonder if there's some stipulations as to like the type of user you are. Like maybe if you manage pages or something, you don't get this new look. I'm not really sure, but I'm not finding it because I want to try it out. I love dark mode. I dark mode everything. Give me all the dark modes.
So you have the drop down arrow, right?
Yeah, I'm in the drop down arrow.
I don't want to share it on the live portion because I don't want to it's kind of my personal Facebook, right? So I don't want to.
Yep.
I don't want that getting out there. But in the top right, you have the drop down arrow.
Yeah, I got the drop down arrow. I've got all that. It's got like manage pages, your groups, manage ads, activity log, all that good stuff, settings. But it is no option to toggle. But I don't know.
It's like right down there towards the bottom, like 2 or 3 up from the bottom. It should say switch to the new one. That's weird.
I got
really.
Payment history, send money, settings, newsfeed preferences. I've got all those things, but
well,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I have to play around. I will have to play around with that because I'm very
They
interested in that.
they could be rolling it out, right? And maybe it just hasn't hit your area yet. But the
Yeah.
news as of today is it's available to everyone. It was in kind of like beta testing from March. Starting back in March, only certain areas and certain people were able to get access to it. You had to sign up for it, um, and now it should be available to everyone. So,
Yeah, who
maybe
knows,
try it
man?
tomorrow.
I mean, the company that I work for, the development team does so much A/B testing and things like that, and only certain percentages of traffic see certain features and things. So, I can only imagine a company of Facebook's caliber, how much testing and things like that they do. So, yeah, I'll keep
Yeah,
checking back and try it out because I have always wondered. I mean, Facebook is a monster in itself, but
right.
like the number of features and options you have in Facebook, the ways you can use it, it's just absurd. It's so hard to manage. Whereas like for
Yeah.
Twitter, for instance, you've got like three things you can do in Twitter.
Yep.
Instagram, you can do like three things, right? It's very focused. And the ad campaigns and stuff that Facebook have been running recently are all centered around groups. So what you were saying about that
Yep.
is definitely interesting. So yeah, I'll keep an eye out because I like dark mode and all kinds of clean UI stuff. So very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you have to update your computer or something. But let me know tomorrow. I kind of want to. I kind of want to know if it's available to you. So
Yep,
okay.
will do.
Well, that brings us to our next section. We're done with tech. We made it through tech, guys. I
We
think we had
made
some
it
good stuff
through.
today. We had some good
Yeah,
tech
lots of
stuff.
shiny keyboards. And I want to say, for all you guys listening on the audio version, make sure you check out the YouTube video if you want to see the shiny keyboard with all the fancy RGB lights and all the good stuff that Reese was sharing with the MacBook Pro. Check out the video version. It's got lots of goodies.
Yeah, guys. All right, I'm gonna transition. You ready?
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1.
Where are we? Where are
Oh
we?
my gosh, is this Mexico?
No, it's not. It's not.
Oh, okay.
We're still here. I thought that if you grabbed your camera, I thought you like teleported somehow. That's what I've seen on the internet. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure we're in a different dimension now.
Oh wait, I'm the beard.
And I'm the ginger. Look at
Oh.
that. Hold on, let me change my lighting. Very cool, very cool.
Oh man.
So, man, let's talk about these UFC shenanigans. How excited are you for tomorrow?
I can't believe it's here. I literally posted on our Instagram page like a lineup of the fights. And I'm like, I still continue to pinch myself. I'm like, is this actually happening? Is this a dream? Is this a real card? I can't even believe it. It's such
The
an
last time
amazing,
the last
such
time we
an
watched
amazing
a
lineup.
fight, the last time we watched one, we were together, right? I was down there. I'm pretty sure that was the last time they had one.
Yeah, what was that fight? That was the
Adesanya versus Romero.
Yep. Yep.
That barn burner. Huh.
Psh, what a disappointment. At least the co-main was good.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was.
Yeah,
So,
so UFC shenanigans, UFC 249 is tomorrow. How excited are we? Oh man, I'm literally can't even sit still. I'm so excited. Um, it'll be interesting to see. I'm
Can't
excited to
wait.
see like if they release numbers on like how much this event makes, because people have gone so long without seeing people punch each other in the face, and they're just excited to get back to it.
Right,
Um, so, and for fans of the sport like ourselves, we're excited to see these guys perform again. I've like missed seeing everyone. Missed Bruce Buffer's voice. I've missed the commentators, the referees, the fighters.
Good
So
old Roe Jogan.
Roe Jogan. Oh yeah, I forgot we're in their alternate universe.
Got to keep that continuity going.
Oh man, so good. So
Yeah.
interestingly, they put out an article. So we'll find out for sure tomorrow. But they did some. I think ESPN put out an article that talked a little bit about what's UFC 249 actually going to look like, because obviously there's still restrictions in place. You can only have a certain number of people in a confined area. Some of the states are starting to kind of loosen up a little bit, and kind of peel back some of those restrictions. But for an event like this, obviously things are going to be different. So here's a few things that are going to be a little bit different about USC 249 versus what we've seen at previous events. Number one, no crowd. So they're not going to be people in the audience screaming and cheering and booing. So that'll be interesting. How do you think you're going to feel about watching something like that?
I'm just interested to see like how's it gonna like make me feel, right? Like the energy on the television is gonna be lower because the energy in that arena is gonna be lower. Like how's that gonna affect the fighters? Like some fighters might get like hyped up when there's so many people around that they fight better, and me, I don't know. Like maybe it'll affect me, maybe it won't, but it'll definitely be a weird experience, right? It's something
Yep.
new. But I mean, we have seen other like Dana White's other series where he's like looking for a fighter
True.
thing, right? Where they do those when there's like nobody around. So
True.
it's just weird to see a UFC event like that. I don't know if there's ever been an empty arena at a UFC event.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ever.
I mean, I'm trying to think by personal experiences. I think watching the Ultimate Fighter series is probably the closest thing that I can remember. I've never actually watched the Dana White's Looking for a Fight or those sort of shows, but the Ultimate Fighter series, it's a room full of probably like 30, 40 people. So still there's some background noise, people yelling, things like that.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's probably going to be something somewhere similar to that, but I mean, are they going to like dub in like crowd noises or something? They're going to have to like just play
That would
some
be weird.
background music.
It's like
Music the whole time.
these shows, these sitcoms you see have like laugh tracks. So it's not real people laughing. It's just like a laugh track. So
Right.
they have like boo tracks and they have like cheering tracks. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've been watching a lot of TV. Like I've watched SNL do their like SNL at home, which is still honestly kind of funny. Like I actually enjoyed the SNL at home shows, but that's a little more skit based. So it kind of lands still. But I've watched Jimmy Fallon's late night show where he's at home. And I'll tell you, man, it's kind of awkward, to be honest with you. Like, I love Jimmy Fallon. I think he's awesome. I think he's hilarious. But when he's at home and he's doing his, like, little monologue at the beginning or his, like, thank you notes or whatever he's doing, there's no audience laughter. So, like, you don't...
Oh yeah.
If it's not something that super resonates with you, you don't even crack a smile. You're just like, this feels weird. And you can tell he feels weird about it, too. Like, he just doesn't seem super happy about it. So I'm hoping that we don't get the same vibe from the event. I don't think we will, though. I think, honestly, I'm going to be personally really excited.
I'm still
No
going to
matter
be
what.
excited. I mean, think about the card, right? That's going to make up for any awkwardness because the caliber of this card is just, unheard of.
Yeah.
Unreal. Yeah.
So number 2 is there's going to be limited staff in camp there. I read that there was going to be a limited amount of staff allowed at the event. And also not only that, but the commentators at the table will be separated by barriers and a certain amount of distance. So you're not going to see the clips of Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier. Like, I'm not sure who's commentating on this. I know John Anik's going to be there. I know Joe Rogan's going to be there. You're not going to see them slapping each other in excitement or like Joe Rogan like falling onto somebody else or things like that. It's going to be people separated by what I assume are going to be like plexiglass barriers. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
And there's going to be no in-ring interviews. So after the fight has been decided, Joe Rogan's not going to go out into the ring and hold the mic up to somebody. There's going to be the commentator. So Joe's going to be wearing a headset, and he's going to be interviewing the fighter who's also going to be wearing a headset. Right? So all this stuff that's going to play into it, it's going to be real weird, I think.
So it's just going to be 2 fighters and a referee. This is going to be weird.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact numbers. I should have written them down, but I think the camp is limited. The actual people, I mean, I guess there's obviously still got to be a cut man. There's still got to be a doctor. There's still got to be judges, Everybody's. I don't know if everyone's going to be wearing masks. I saw some pictures from the weigh-ins. I'm not sure if you saw any of those weigh-in pictures, but some of the fighters themselves were actually wearing masks with their weigh-in photos. So It's going to be different. So I think what I'm also interested in is it going to be better for the fighters themselves because they can more clearly hear the commentary coming from their corners, right? And so, actually, I think there was a fight before the full shutdown.
Okay.
It looks like, and I'm reading this from somebody in our chat. Thanks, Toby. In UFC 170, Brazil was without an audience, and I actually do kind of recall that. But being able to hear your corner as a fighter, I can imagine, is a lot more helpful than just hearing the boos or cheers from the audience.
Yeah. I think so. There's a couple things, right? It's going to impact how some of these fights go because some of these fighters, they're going to be able to hear their corner, and they're also not going to have like that energy behind them, So in these circumstances, the fights might play out differently than they might have, with a full arena. So that's going to be interesting to see if like maybe some fighters might do better with the smaller crowds, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. So moving on from that, I think we got some news in relation to our man John Jones, right?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna hit this one real quick. So Dana White basically said that like he's not gonna discipline John Jones at all for what happened back in March, right? The March arrest, which was related to an aggravated DWI, negligent use of a firearm, possession of an open container, and he didn't even have proof of insurance in his vehicle. So wow, man. John
What a
Jones,
terrible
come
citizen.
on, dude. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this already, so I'm not even going to get into it. But, turn that around real quick. Get it back together.
I was going to say, shooting a gun in the air, fine. Speeding while you're drunk, fine. Not carrying insurance in your car, how dare you? What kind of person are you? You're a
what
monster.
What kind of citizen are you? All of us other citizens, we carry our damn insurance. You better carry yours, too. Anyway. But anyway, Dana White's not going to punish him, but that doesn't mean like some other entity, somebody else in the UFC might impact him in some kind of way, but Dana White doesn't give a shit. Sorry, I'm swearing now. It's the liquor. Anyway. so that's that. And then a little bit of heavyweight news, right? Stipe Miocic is getting pressured right now by Dana and Daniel Cormier to sign a fight for summertime. And he's like, dude, we've been shut down in Ohio. I can't even train right now. How could I sign a fight for summertime? Ohio's still shut down, and that's where he's at. So, he's getting all this pressure from them. Dana White's actually threatening right now to strip him.
What?
And yeah, he said it's possible that Stipe will be stripped of the title. He said that during the middle of the week, and then during the press conference, he reinforced that, and he was like, "Yeah, we could definitely do that," And it's like, dude,
come on,
come on.
That's
and
not
from
cool
Stipe's perspective, he's like, "Listen, I'm not only am I the champ, my state's locked down. I can't train, and Daniel Cormier's not calling the shots. He just wants to fight me so that he can retire. Like that's not what this is all about. He's gonna fight when he's ready to fight. He's the champion, and he deserves that. I mean, they're 1-1 right now, so I want to see the fight, but if he gets stripped of the belt, that's complete.
That's total
doo-doo.
BS, man. Yeah,
doo-doo.
I mean, maybe if that's how you feel, do an interim belt. I think interim belts are kind of dumb, anyways. If you ask me, but if that's what you want to do an interim belt.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, Stipe's 37. I just looked it up. He's 37 years old.
Wow.
That's not old, but in terms of a UFC fighter, that's getting up there. And it takes a lot of work to train and cut weight and get down to the weight that you need to be at to fight, number one. And I wonder how DC feels about that, because DC's probably up in the same age range as well, I would imagine.
I think he's older.
I think he walks around heavier than Stipe does. So, yeah, that's ridiculous, man. I think Dana's probably just under a lot of pressure, probably from, ESPN, from Disney, from all his bosses to make
DC's
some big
41.
fights. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't imagine trying to. I mean, the summertime, when you say the summertime, that's a couple months away. These fighters traditionally have like 6 months to prepare and go to camp and cut weight. Like, that's crazy.
At a minimum 3, and that puts us in August, right? So it's like, come on. He's thinking that Stipe's thinking that the fight might not happen this year at all, but like, I think if they fight again, it's possible that it's probably like the last fight for both of them. And I mean, if I was Stipe, I would retire. Like, come on, he doesn't need to keep doing this stuff. He's got kids. He's got a kid now. You know, he does his thing in Ohio. He's good.
Yeah, he's like a firefighter, so he's got a life outside of the UFC.
Yeah,
I mean, DC. What does DC want, anyways? DC's got a career in commentating. He's one of my favorite commentators, actually.
Yep.
So
DC,
I mean, I guess
he wants that respect back. He wants that pride, that legacy.
He wants to see his pound for pound ranking go back up, most likely, and get his credibility back. Yeah, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting.
You know, his legacy's ruined at both light heavyweight and heavyweight if he doesn't get that win. If he can get that win against Stipe, then he gets that heavyweight legacy back.
Yeah. True.
So,
yep. So I think that's about all we've got for UFC. I mean, it seems light, but really, dude, I mean, next week's show is going to be packed full of UFC recaps. I mean, typically with our UFC recaps, we stick to like the co-main and the main to really delve into what happened, our thoughts, our reactions, all that stuff. But we've got so many insane fights to talk about next week. We've got Cowboy versus Pettis, the rematch. Obviously Ferguson Gaethje. I'm so excited to see what happens there.
Me too.
You know, I could go on forever, but just one last thing about 249 I thought was interesting. I looked back and again, me being like, is this actually a thing? Is this a real fight that's going to happen? Nobody missed weight except for one person, and that was Jeremy Stevens by like a half a pound. So there's been no reports of dropouts. There's been no reports of, canceled fights. So by all accounts, this is going to happen. So make sure you come back next week to hear our thoughts on what happened with UFC 249. I can't wait.
Oh, absolutely. So that's it for the shenanigans, brother. Let's go ahead and talk about some video games. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, guys. Wait, hold on. 3, 2, 1.
We're back.
Hey. What? Oh. Hey. What
Where
happened?
are we?
Are we back in our normal reality again?
Oh, man. I think we are. Yes, I'm back.
Wow. Something just feels right about this.
Joe Rogan is commentating and not Rojogan.
Oh. Nice. Joe Rogan's back. I like that guy.
Oh, man. This is so silly.
Yeah. Hey, man. So, you want to tell me about some free games?
Oh, yeah. So every week, thanks to the beard, I didn't know this was a thing before the podcast, but Epic Games releases free games every single week. They change. So it's always discounted all the way to the zero, so free 99. So this week's game is called Death Coming. It's actually like an 8-bit. We should actually show it maybe. Let me pull up the Epic Game Store. Give me one moment.
Here, I can do it.
You already got it up?
I will have it up in about 2 seconds.
All right, so I'll just keep talking then. So Death Coming, it is typically $5.99. It's free until the 14th. You got it going?
I hit the wrong button. Here we go.
Oh. There we go. It's free until May 14th, so the end of next week almost. So essentially what's happening here, if you're looking at the visual, it's like an 8-bit sort of pixelated artwork style, very colorful. You got these little people running around the town, and you are, I guess, Death. You are the ominous Grim Reaper sort of character, and you control the world around these pesky little people. And essentially your goal is to collect their souls. You want to collect all the souls of the humans. And you control their environment, and it's sort of like a Final Destination sort of. It's akin to Final Destination, and if you haven't seen those movies, like these crazy deaths happen by like these logs falling off of a log truck and bouncing down an interstate and impaling people through a car windshield, like just crazy stuff that never happens. These freak accidents, but you create these freak accidents in this video game, and you collect the souls of the people. But you have, what do they call them in the description? I think it's like agents of light will do everything they can to stop you. So you've got some competition. So
Okay.
haven't played this game yet, but Reese and I were talking about it before the show. It looks really fun. Unfortunately, it's not multiplayer, or else we may have streamed this together. But definitely one. I added it to my library. I downloaded it, quote unquote downloaded it. I added it to my library so that I can download it again later, take advantage of the freeness. So check it out.
Yeah, it looks fun. It looks like a quick and easy kind of, relaxing little game to check out. So, okay, we'll keep that in the holster. I like it.
Relax while you slay innocent beings.
Yeah, you have a bad day at work, you just come home and just, take care of business, I guess.
Just slay some people.
Yeah. All right. So, real quick, there's another free game out there, and we can post this in the show notes, right? So if you made it this far, you get a free game. So it's a game called Evil Genius. It's kind of similar to The Death Coming a little bit, like the same kind of theme where you're like, causing havoc for other people, chaos and whatnot. So basically, this link is going to be in the show notes. You go ahead and click that link your Steam to the Rebellion Developments website. Rebellion Developments is the development team that created Evil Genius. And so to give you a little bit of background, it's a single-player, real-time strategy and simulation video game. You play one of 3 Evil Genius archetypes and build a lair containing kung fu academies, rocket caravans, and laboratories, and you recruit henchmen to roam the corridors, hunting down invasive James Bond types, and you send out some goons into the world to do evil deeds and build a doomsday device so you can take over the world. So it's kind of like weird that these free games from 2 different sources have like a very similar theme, right?
That is kind of funny. What's the chances of that?
It is, right? It's not 8-bit. It's 3D graphics. It looks pretty good. So, I'm not gonna take the time to show it right now, guys. Just go check it out. Evil Genius. Go check it out on YouTube, and click the link in the show notes if you want a free game. So there you go.
We are burying the lead here, Reese. We've got to get to this next one.
Okay. Finally, Cyberpunk 2077 will let you customize your genitals. What the fuck?
I'm sorry. What did you just say?
I'm sorry. Did I stutter?
I could have swore you said genitals, but is that what you said? Genitals?
Genitalia. Anyway.
Please don't do that hand motion while you say genitalia.
Oh man. So part of CD Projekt Red's
for the audio listeners, don't watch the video version. Just forget what I said earlier. Just continue on with your life and listen to the audio.
Not like this. Okay. So CD Projekt Red's decision not to include a traditional gender option in the game, instead of offering a really inclusive, they're offering a really inclusive expanded character customization menu. So,
including
basically, yeah. So it allows you to customize the back end, the front end, and the top end. Full customization. I think it still like makes you pick like male versus female, but then you get like this really inclusive customization to capture all of the LGBTQIA plus stuff.
Okay, so to be clear here, the customization options, are they allowing you to change your character up to identify as if how you would in real life? Like, okay, so I'm trying to think of the PC way to say this. If I'm a female, I identify as a male. I can look female and add male bits.
Yeah. If you were born as a female and then transitioned into a male, you could represent yourself here.
Okay.
That way.
All right.
Vice versa. In any combination, I think
it's so good. It's so good. It's such a good thing that we marked this show as not for kids, number one, and also as explicit. But I was thinking a different thing. I was like, you know what? I want to have, just a.
A,
I'm not gonna. It's not gonna go there.
a chainsaw pelvis.
Yes. Yeah. Chain. That's what I was thinking, for sure.
Or dolphin. I don't know. Something really crazy. Yeah. No, I think it's just like sliders. If you can imagine sliders.
Okay. All right.
Uh-huh.
So, in the game, you can customize what your nose looks like. You can customize your hair color. You can add shirts. You can add pants, and you can also make yourself have whatever you would like to have.
And cybernetic implants and whatever else. There's so much.
Gosh.
This game is going to be insane. It's coming out in September, so
here's a funny thought. Keanu Reeves makes a cameo in this game, right?
Oh, not just like a cameo, dude. He's like a main character.
He's mocapped. He's in there. So can you customize Keanu Reeves's manhood?
Oh. He's going to start out with max settings. What do you mean?
You're like, whoa, scale it back. Whee!
Hey, what about that elephant in the room? Anyway, all right, that's enough.
Oh my gosh, it's too much.
I've gone too far. Man, we can't even upload this anymore.
Yep.
But that is a news topic that was released this week, so
It's
that
news.
is happening.
Someone has to talk about it.
So get ready for it. Oh man.
Too good. That's such a good story to end on. Full disclosure. We thought about naming the episode of this, naming the title of this show, "Customize Your Genitalia," but we thought maybe that was too much.
A little too far, maybe. Who knows?
Yep. It's all right.
Maybe we could have done that, and then we would have got everybody in here. But
it could have gone viral.
Well.
The show could have gone viral. The show could have gone viral. Not the. I keep walking myself into these things.
You know what? We don't have OnlyFans here. Okay, get your mind out of the gutter. Anyway, all right. So that brings us to the end of it. I think we're gonna go ahead and end the podcast version of this now. And
on that note.
And yeah, on that note. But I had a great time. I think you did too.
That was a lot of fun.
And guys, I make sure to check out our YouTube clips. Check us out on Twitch every Friday night, 9:00 Eastern time. We would very much appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us. We love what we're doing here. We hope you guys do too. Any support you can give is very helpful. So, like, subscribe, follow us on our Twitter, follow us on our Instagram, follow us on our Twitch, and, definitely come hang out with us.
Follow us down the street.
Just don't follow me with your genitalia.
Unless it's customized.
Better be customized.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you guys so much. We will catch you guys next week with episode 12. Until then, have an amazing week. We'll see you guys later.
Have a good one. See you guys later.